Welcome, everyone, to Global Markets Radio Week Ahead. I'm your host, Andrew Spanton. Sunday, August the 12th, 2012. Just about 5 p.m. Eastern, almost. Lots of interesting stuff happened over the weekend. Obviously, Friday's action. Stock market, well, we're looking at the Australian dollar. But I thought that a lot of the numbers continue to be terrible. And that China export number, horrible import, horrible numbers. And the market continues to grind up. I get it. But I'll tell you what. We definitely had some interesting stuff over the weekend. We did have the Greece story, printing of money, more the printing of euros to bail them out. Joke. Spain. Big fires, I think, or evacuations. Italy. A steel mill. All minor stuff. But the big one, and the reason why I think this market should gap down and stay down, is the Muslim Brotherhood. That's a game changer. If you've not heard, basically, the Muslim Brotherhood has taken over the military. It's over. They've sacked everyone. They've put in their own people in place in the heads of the different departments of the military. And they now control it. You now have a radical, and I say radical, and they are, government controlling Egypt that controls the largest military in the Middle East, Arab world. Obviously the U.S., Russia, but just as big as Iran, if not bigger, I'm pretty sure. And it's U.S. stuff. It's all U.S. stuff. Unbelievable. Yes, they paid for it with our, $1.6 billion in aid to them a year? I think even more. Great job, Obama. You just handed a radical Muslim group. They now control the military. Remember, that was the big thing. You had the Constitution being drafted. You had the people in Egypt, the different parties forming a Congress. But the military was watching it all happen and maintaining order while it happened. But now it looks like they just set up tanks right outside the Egyptian border. They have basically now officially violated the Camp David Accords in 1976. Jimmy Carter. Gone. Like the wind. So I just don't see how this is a good thing. I think this is the beginning of the end. I think, with Iran in the mix, Syria going down, and now this, man, all you need is a little spark and ba-boom. It all begins. And let me tell you something. When something like this gets going, it doesn't end quickly. It'll just keep going. So I don't see how this market's going to explode from here, given that now potential, because no one really thought Egypt was going to be okay. They were going to have the military was still going to be in control of more Western type thinking people, and the government would be, by more radicals. Okay, you can handle that. That was the thinking, I'm pretty sure. But you get something like this, and boy, tensions can flare up very quickly. But you know what? Can we go to 1450? Why not? I mean, the S&P is certainly broken out of this downtrend channel. And it is scary. But I got to tell you, if we do gap down, and we're only 14 handles from 1390, right? If we could get below previous week low right off the bat, and there wasn't any good news over the weekend, certainly nothing to report home about. The drought continues to get worse in the United States. The euro's gapping down a little bit. Aussie's coming in a little bit. We'll take a look at that chart, because that, you're not having confirmation with the Aussie, and the Aussie reversed. So, but look at this S&P chart. We're a little overbought. It looks beautiful. The bullish engulfing. You should have continuation and then reversal. So I think this week, this should be it. This should be the week the market freaking dive bombs, reverses. Could it be from up here? New high? Absolutely, but this should be it. And I'm sorry. Something in the middle. And also a U.S. destroyer collides with a tanker at the entrance to the Gulf. That can't be good for oil prices. We'll see where they gap up on the open. And look at the Dixie dollar index. Certainly held the line. Was ended up being blue on the week. We did take our previous week's low, but we still held. And we closed well above it. In dollar index terms. Obviously, it's only, a couple of dimes. But still, held the line. Did not close below the 10 EMA. Sure, if we take out 82? Absolutely. We could easily break more. And, the euro, I think the euro might hold. I think it's going to be risk off, baby. I think some of the weekly charts, we're going to look. Could the euro come in? Absolutely. Could we, grind lower here and maybe hold up a little bit because, you know what? It's more the Aussie. But is my bias to the long side? Absolutely not. Could the euro collapse this week? Absolutely. I'm just very bearish on the more risk off, risk on trades. And that Canadian dollar. We'll take a look at that. We do have big numbers coming out this week. Big numbers. Nothing really tonight. Pretty much Japan GDP, German wages, and that's it. German wage price is supposed to increase 0.0 donut %. But I think the problems in Europe still not solved. There's a bank holiday, of course. They're going to take it in Italy. When is that? I saw it on the calendar. I laughed. It's just too funny. French and Italian bank holiday on Wednesday. Don't you think they should maybe give up the holidays a little bit? I mean, come on. What a joke. And that's it, really. Japan GDP is supposed to be up 0.6%. Remember, last month was up a whopping 1.2% on quarter. So I don't know. I think it would be a big disappointment. We're getting some GDP numbers preliminary this week, and I don't see how they're going to be good. Now, you can make the case if they're a little worse, then that makes the job of the Fed more difficult. If they're terrible, disgusting, then hey, Bernanke's going to do something. But if they're just a little worse, we get housing numbers in the U.S. What if those are a little better? Maybe there's no need. And yet, of course, we had Ryan, who is now Romney's running mate. Great choice, by the way. Especially if you're a Tea Party. You got to love that call. Now, could the markets rally on that? Well, let me tell you something. I see the other end of that spectrum. Wouldn't that mean less stimulus? Wouldn't that mean fighting the Fed? Wouldn't that mean if Romney wins, Bernanke's policies are going to be gone? Propping up stocks? Gone? Like the win? Right? Certainly one way to look at it. So I just think all the news is bad. From a risk-on standpoint, from a, put money to work. And especially with the S&P at these levels, I mean, give me a break. Dollar-yen, Listen, bond yields could pop on Ryan also. But again, remember, Obama's supposed to win. Obama's in the lead. Amazing to me that he is. It's just insane. This campaign is so disgusting. Obama just continues to break every rule of sort of etiquette. He doesn't care. He'll do anything to get reelected. It's obvious. I mean, if the American people can't see the games and the things he's saying, they're direct lies. Harry Reid. Lies. It's incredible. Just think they could lie right to your freaking face and get away with it. And I really hope and pray the debates, he takes him out. Puts him in his place. Stands up for being an honest guy. I mean, I'm sorry. I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but Obama has been so bad for this country. It's not even funny. I can't believe you left-wing liberals can't even see that. I understand your policies and things you want, but look at this guy. He has no backbone. He has no character. Keep being mad about George Bush. Keep being mad about George Bush. It's unbelievable. Romney does have some character. And Ryan also. Biden, Obama. It's a joke. All right, so dollar yen again. You got that GDP number. I think it looks terrible. I think we need to hit that channel line. That's about 77. So this motherhood. And then you got Ryan. And again, that's no stimulus. That's cut. That's a good thing. Euro yen looks terrible also. Reverse, closed terrible. Couldn't even hold above previous week. Almost touched the 10 EMA. Well, if it melts, it'll catch up. But still, nice reversal. Doesn't look very good. Again, if only the S&Ps would have closed below 1,400, we'd be golden. But you know what? Manipulation, short covering. I don't think it's that big of, Listen, I have no problem cutting defense. One of my members said, I'm okay with cutting some defense. How about just no inflation? Don't raise defense spending at the rate of inflation. Let me tell you, you could do a lot. You could do that for 5 years. Just don't raise things and let inflation catch up, and it'll go down. Tremendous that would be. It's that they automatically get like a 1 or 2% inflation increase. I don't understand that. And I'm okay with across the board, but drones, no freaking way. Submarines, that new submarine they're building, no freaking way. We need those things. The new frigate, stealth frigate they're building for $3 billion, I want it. I think downsize troop levels. I think the more drones, let's drone people to death. Drone. Pull this, get rid of the soldiers. But then you have an employment problem, don't you? Bring back 300, 400,000, add them to the payroll. Non-farm payroll numbers, great. I'd rather than protect the borders. I'd rather not fire them. And how about pull the military back and protect our borders? How cool would that be? Let's station 150,000 troops along the Mexican border. Bang! Well, not 150,000. You wouldn't need that much. But let's pull them all from Germany and South Korea and put them on the border. Problem solved. Dollar Canada looks great to the downside. But again, if I'm bullish on the dollar, and it did break, and it's right there. It goes to 98, but I got to tell you, I just don't see it. I don't see it. If growth is slowing, if China is slowing, Canada is screwed. So, it's loony, and it looks great. But again, if I'm bullish on the dollar, I don't see how I could go. Even though this does look great to the short side, I don't see how I could do it. You could, again, if commodities go down, which is unlikely because it looks like gold's going to be up, and I think oil on this tanker news will probably be up. But I still think commodity currencies risk off. Cable does not look very good. If it could just get above 157.75, I think it's a long then. But until then, I think we probably come in. But it's setting up to be a very nice head and shoulders if it can even pop up to here in the next month or two. You'd have a channel line as well. So cable gets through 158. That baby could fly. And I think we got retail sales coming out this week. We got their employment data coming out this week. You would think, given the Olympics, that they did great. But remember, word is that retail has actually done terrible. They actually wanted it to be over, which I found very interesting. So I look for those retail sales to be weak, employment data to be weak. And I think that even inflation data, I don't see how it's going to be high. And Tuesday also, remember, we got Eurozone. Big week. German zoo. GDP supposed to be negative 0.2%. I think comes in worse. So We got New Zealand retail sales coming up, I think, tomorrow. Pretty sure tomorrow. And this weekly certainly doesn't look very good. Remember, we started the week now, so you got that at the bar. Nice reversal candle. Nailed the channel line, took it out, but closed below it. So one hit the channel line. The question is, will this baby be able to? And I am short. I think this thing is not going to hit. I think this thing is so overbought, it's not even funny. It's up 1,000 pips. The RBA said their price target is 106. We're 50 pips away from it. The RBA also thinks that Europe is not going to be a disaster. So they're basically including in their estimates that European growth is not going to fall off a cliff, which, in my opinion, it is. And if it does, doesn't that change everything about their assessment? And I believe also the RBA came out and said that resource utilization, meaning all their resources, right? Gold, wheat, even the big wheat producer, but mining is going to be used up sooner rather than they expected. I think in 2013-14. So long term, that's not very good. And it's not like their housing market is doing that well. So again, I think this Aussie is so overbought, it's so due, but you need the S&P to come in. And if the S&Ps can come in, bang, risk off, baby. But again, with the tensions in the Middle East, and I just think gold, you got to be a little nervous about gold. Gold has been acting fairly well. If it even comes up. I just can't believe the Muslim Brotherhood now controls the Egyptian military. That's insane. That's insane. I mean, Romney can destroy him just on that. Right? Destroy him. Just on that. You believe this Morsi guy? You're nuts. You hope he changey. Okay. I got a bridge to sell you. Yeah, you think this Morsi guy is really going to be Democratic? Right. The fact that they just lined up tanks along the Israeli border, breaking the Camp David Accords, holy crap. What's the point of having them then? Israel has yet to say anything. So it should be very interesting to see Israel's response to this. They have not done anything. Yet. U.S. side Wednesday also, we got some decent numbers. Empire Manufacturing. Foreign flows of capital, industrial production. And we got Philly Fed also on Thursday, along with building permits and housing starts and unemployment benefits. Philly Fed supposed to rebound to negative 4.3. You would think it should be better. So it's still going to be a negative number. That's not good. CPI data also on Wednesday, U.S. Relatively light on Friday. Relatively light. Michigan. But Canadian CPI comes out also. And again, this, you look at this gold chart. It's certainly looking decent. I mean, looking very decent. Ooh. Cable coming in a little bit. I'm telling you, I think this Aussie, I think these S&Ps should be down. But, you look at this chart, this weekly chart, it's really trying to break out here. And I can see gold making a move. So maybe commodity currencies won't come down as quickly as expected. But the dollar yen looking weak. You look at this Aussie yen, look at that gorgeous doji. Trading lower on the open. I'm telling you, this one should do a retracement as well. If I'm right, I mean, you got to be a little nervous to be in the markets right now, given what just happened. I mean, it was a major coup. No one's going to call it that, but that's what it was. And I'm going to go against Garvin on this looting yen. If it gets stronger, I think it'll be a nice short. So anyway, listen, like I said, technically the S&P, it looks good. Have I seen situations in the past where it closed strong like that and just gapped down and was down big the whole week? Absolutely. Anything's possible. But I think the news, when you combine Ryan, that's got to scare some of the bulls. No? I mean, Ryan. Cut. No stimulus. Bernanke gone. Gone. Like the wind. No stimulus. No soup for you. Time to tighten the belt. How can the markets like that? So we'll see. But again, technically, the S&P looks great. Great, great, great. And that's it, everyone. Again, I do think we get more action. I continue to love this Australian dollar short. I think it's a jokingly overbought situation. If the markets come in, that's strong for the dollar. So even though cable and the euro look good, but you take a look at some of the other ones I want to remember, not forget my pound Aussie, looking very good. But now, again, I think with cable weakness, it'd be an opportunity to get involved. Because if the S&Ps are down, it's risk off, baby. Come on. Well, take a look at yourself. Pound Aussie, pound Kiwi. Oh, baby. Can you say 500 pips risk off day? It's coming. Andrew Spanton, info@globalfxllc.com is my email. You can also follow me on Facebook, Voice of Forex. Follow me on YouTube, Voice of Forex. Get rid of this, damn it. And follow me on Twitter, of course. Retweet me. Share my videos. Have a good week.